Coming up next on This Week in Torrance, a badge pinning ceremony takes place for newly appointed Fire Chief Martin Cerna. Then we will take you to a meet and greet where local and state leaders come together for a better future. Plus, some big changes are coming to Target. And a local tax specialist has tips on how you can stay protected during this tax season. These stories and much more just seconds away. Your local news starts right now. Hello, everyone, and welcome to This Week in Torrance. I'm Ben McCain. Jin Chun has the day off. Thanks for joining us. Here are your top stories. The chilly weather has taken a toll on water main breaks across the city. Torrance's Water Operations Department says this past year they were on track for the lowest number of water breaks until the unusually cold weather hit in November and December, leading to 26 more breaks at the end of the year. Torrance faced the highest number of water main breaks with nearly 182 in 1991. The Public Works Department has made it a top priority to fix the breaks when they occur. Usually the cold weather causes the pipes to expand and crack. The Torrance Police Department was busy looking for drivers speeding recently. 8 traffic enforcement officers were out in full force in the 2700 block of Torrance Boulevard, where there have been many concerns about drivers speeding. Now, based on observations, resident complaints and accidents, the department decided to focus on this area. Between 7:30 a.m. and 9:30 a.m., 46 cars were stopped and 36 tickets were issued for speeding. This directed enforcement focuses on specific violations which can range from running red lights, turning violations, and distracted driving. It was not grant funded. A local organization is looking for people to join its mission. The South Bay City's Council of Governments Environmental Services Center is currently recruiting volunteers for community outreach activities and for people who would like to help in their office. Volunteers will have the opportunity to work on current issues like energy and water conservation, help residents, and assist South Bay businesses to become more sustainable. The center is looking for people who are interested in developing relationships with the community and are outgoing. Training will be provided by the SBCCOG Environmental Services Center. The South Bay City's Council of Governments is a joint power authority of 16 cities and the County of Los Angeles. Their goal is to maximize quality of life and productivity throughout the South Bay and surrounding communities. If you're interested in getting involved, you can visit sbesc.com. The Metropolitan Transit Authority approved a motion that will change the route of the proposed light rail for Los Angeles Rams Stadium. After an MTA board meeting recently, officials have decided that Prairie Avenue will not be part of the rail project. Originally, there were talks about the line potentially being built along Prairie Avenue. Mayor Patrick Fury was in attendance at the meeting and says it will not be part of the Green Line extension either. However, Torrance has pledged to provide a Torrance to Florence bus service to the new stadium from its upcoming regional transit facility when the games begin. The Metro Board of Directors is looking to bring a rail connection much closer to the planned Los Angeles Rams Stadium. The rail would not connect only to the stadium, but also to some upcoming projects, which include as many as 2,500 new residential units and even a hotel. The project is funded by the half-cent sales tax increase known as Measure R. Mayor Fury also adds that the regional transit facility should be completed before the stadium is finished. It was a memorable moment at the most recent City Council meeting as Torrance's new fire chief was officially badged.
I now present to you your badge signifying your appointment as fire chief. Congratulations.
Newly appointed Fire Chief Martin Cerna was surrounded by loved ones and colleagues as they all celebrated his new role in the Torrance Fire Department. Torrance City Manager Leroy Jackson and Mayor Patrick Fury were also there to congratulate Cerna, who started his career with the Torrance Fire Department in 1993. Since then, he has risen through the ranks, most recently serving as the city's fire marshal as well as the assistant fire chief. Throughout the year, Cerna has made a difference in the community. He oversaw the auxiliary firefighter program and managed hazardous materials and specialized emergency programs. With nearly 23 years of experience with the city, Cerna says he is honored to serve in this new role.
You must have the desire to serve. the ability to perform, and the courage to act. He defined each of those statements so we clearly understood that what the citizens of Torrance expected of us. We took this to heart, and it has become part of our TFD DNA.
I am extremely confident that with your leadership, we will continue to provide the highest quality of service our residents expect and deserve.
Cerna will serve as the 9th fire chief for Torrance's Class 1 fire department with more than 163 employees. He takes the place of retired Fire Chief William Rakowski. Federal and state legislators came together for the second annual South Bay Legislature meeting to discuss what can be done for Torrance's future. Here is Tao with the story.
It was a packed room as local legislators discussed important topics that the state of California and the city of Torrance is pushing forward.
This is a time of great challenges. I don't think I have to tell anybody in this room, but there are also some great opportunities.
Opportunities to make way for small businesses, improve homelessness, and the future state of affordable housing.
We're trying to still get through H.R. 3132, which will raise the statutory limit for the Small Business Administration's Loan Act, which will basically give small businesses more capital to expand.
More than a quarter of Angelinos are spending at least half of their income on housing costs.
U.S. Senator Ben Allen says partnerships are key in helping people find homes.
Part of what we need to do is partner with business and developers and builders and housing advocates to find creative and cost-effective ways to protect and expand housing for our residents.
While last February's Torrance ExxonMobil explosion is still on the minds of locals in the community, leaders like Congressman Ted Lieu say transformation is in the works.
And also talk about some of the district issues we're working on, such as making the ExxonMobil refinery in Torrance safer, and also ensuring that the West LAVA campus continues to serve veterans in the best way that it can.
And leaders also address the state's current teacher shortage.
The idea would be that it would require that its participants have a mentor, undergo rigorous in-class training, and ultimately teach in the same communities where they're trained.
But even with all of the challenges the city and state face, Mayor Fury says coming together to discuss these issues is one step in the right direction moving forward for a better city and state.
All I do is ask you to go over to the shop in our shopping center, the Delamo Fashion Center. See if it's bad. Things are good over there. Cash registers are ringing, and that's a good thing. Hit the boulevard and see the car dealerships that are over there. They're selling a lot of cars in the city of Torrance. That's a good thing.
For Torrance CitiCABLE, I'm Tao.
Thanks, Tao. A South Bay mother is given 3 life sentences without the possibility of parole. Carol Ann Coronado was convicted in November of last year for first-degree murder in the deaths of her 3 daughters. The girls were found inside the family's home in an unincorporated area of Carson in May 2014. Coronado's lawyer argued in court that she suffered from postpartum depression at the time of the murders and that she should be sent to a mental institution. The judge says that Coronado will need treatment, but it will be in a state prison. Her attorney plans to request a new trial and file an appeal. 2 popular stores will soon be sharing the same floor space. CVS pharmacy stores will now be located inside Target, replacing the company's pharmacy. The companies say they have confidence that each store will have its own identity. Last June, CVS agreed to pay $1.9 billion to acquire the Target pharmacy business. Target's nearly 1,600 pharmacies in 47 states will be rebranding as a CVS pharmacy within the next 6 to 8 months. This is a perfect deal for Target, as the company was planning to stop running pharmacies because of the increasing complexity of the prescription drug industry. The pharmacies will remain open during the upgrade. CVS is the largest U.S. drugstore chain with about 9,500 locations. And speaking of change, Toyota will also be closing down one of its brands. Scion will now be part of the Toyota Motor Corporation car lineup. Scion was introduced as an independent brand 13 years ago in hopes of catering to young buyers and was launched with just 2 designs. Toyota plans to cease operations in August and will combine the cars. Experts say falling interest rates, low gas prices may have caused Scion sales to fall to nearly 56,000 units. Scion employees will be offered positions with Toyota. Here is the latest on Jesper Awoma's road to recovery. Jesper's scalp expander was recently removed to extend his hairline forward. Using skin from his scalp, Dr. Matthew Rice, Jesper's surgeon at Torrance Memorial Medical Center's Burn Center, was also able to rework his nose shape. Always beaming with a big smile, Jesper will now take a break from surgeries for the next few months. He will meet with an ophthalmologist to be fitted for a prosthetic eye, and a tattoo artist will help even out his pigmentation. Doctors are also looking into having him fitted for a special splint to stretch out his bicep that used to be fused back in hopes of giving more range in motion. Jesper arrived at the United States in October of last year and has undergone several reconstructive surgeries, and we wish him the best. Well, it was a chance to celebrate volunteers who work endlessly to help feed children in need. The Volunteer Center hosted its Pantry Partners Food for Kids festivities for volunteers and members who support the group. Pantry Partners was formed to help with one of the main programs at the Volunteer Center called Food for Kids that distributes food to children across the Torrance School District who are eligible for Title I, a federal program that provides financial assistance to support kids in need. With 67 members, volunteers bag food weekly and distribute it to students so they have food over the weekend.
We saw a community need, and all these volunteers come in weekly, and they're just amazing. We're so lucky.
It's such a rewarding feeling knowing that we're helping to feed little bellies that may go hungry. This food helps to make their bodies grow and their brains work, and they learn quicker and faster, and they're happier.
During the event, volunteers packed some donation bags, and it was a chance to mingle with other volunteers. You can always donate non-perishable food items to the Volunteer Center at 1230 Cravens Avenue. A tree ordinance is in the works after hundreds urged the city to craft one that would help protect beach views. Torrance CitiCABLE reporter Jesper has the story.
They're way down there. They're probably 6 or 8 feet below what we see, plus this.
For the past 7 years, these giant trees have become a looming wall Judy English is still trying to get used to.
We have no view. It affects we have no sunsets. We have limited sky. We don't have full ocean weather.
English remembers when she had a view like this, but it was soon short-lived as her neighbor decided to plant these.
Very large planters of baby trees coming in, over 200 of them. I couldn't even believe, why would you plant 200 trees? I was totally naive.
Views blocked by beautiful vegetation has been an ongoing divide among neighbors living on the hill.
I want to compromise. He has a right to have trees. He bought a lot with trees. We bought a lot with some view. Just get them lower so that when we are a subsequent owner, put a second story on, they still have their 360-degree view. We still have the value that we paid for.
The City of Torrance currently has an ordinance in place where views are protected from new building projects. Councilman Mike Griffiths, who is also the committee chair for the group crafting the ordinance, says it hasn't been an easy task.
We can't have the city spend a huge amount of resources handling these type of neighborly battles. It's a very expensive process trying to figure out, who's right, who's wrong, how much should be done, who should do it, who should pay for it. It's a very difficult process.
A battle that has been fought by neighbors for the past 10 years. Councilman Griffith says they're trying to make people from both sides of the issue happy.
A lot of people want the plants and vegetation for privacy reasons, so people can't see in their backyard, and they would like to have the privacy of their own yard and not have somebody looking down into their backyard. So that's been the battle.
For residents like Judy English, she hopes the ordinance will help implement a type of structure so residents living in this area can find a common ground.
Those lower power lines, that's about where the trees were. So the views were utterly spectacular. My biggest issue at this point in time is hoping that there may be some neighbors that don't want to do this.
Torrance resident Michael Bay has asked his neighbors to cut down their treetops so he can keep the beautiful beach views and has even paid for it to be done.
The point of living in a neighborhood is to share and get to know your neighbors and enjoy the experience of having good neighbors.
And as the committee gets closer to finalizing an ordinance, residents like Judy English can't wait for the future.
When it becomes real, which I hope is this year, yes, we're going to have a party. Don't know where, but we'll invite you.
For Torrance CitiCABLE, I'm Jesper.
Thank you, Hiba. The committee is looking to draft an ordinance similar to the one Rolling Hills Estates has in place. Their next meeting will be in March. Tax season is underway, which can be a very stressful time for people, but adding to that stress is the risk of tax return fraud, a scam that has increased every year since 2008. Here's Avija Scarborough with more.
The U.S. Justice Department statistics show that $6 billion in fraudulent refunds were paid out in 2013, a number that is expected to hit $21 billion this year. Richard Novak, a tax specialist from Richard Allen & Associates in Torrance, explains how the fraud works.
The only thing somebody needs to file a tax return with your information or with anybody's information is just a name, a social security number, the name of a company, and a company's tax ID number.
And crooks have easier access to this information than you may think.
You probably have read that there's been breaches of data from most major retailers, and even the federal government has had their databases breached. The IRS themselves has been a victim of people breaching their systems to gain the identity of at least 100,000 taxpayers.
Although this may seem daunting, Novak says there are steps you can take to remedy the situation if you're a victim.
If somebody uses your identity to file a tax return and your return is rejected, you can contact the IRS. You can still file your tax return. You file it on paper. You may have to fill out an affidavit, or your tax preparer can help you fill out an affidavit to prove that you are who you are.
And one of the easiest things people can do is to avoid giving out their social security number themselves in a common trick called phishing.
They're claiming to be from somebody and asking you for your information. You know, people get phone calls claiming to be from the lotto. You won the lotto, and in order to get your prize, I need your name and social security number. You would be surprised how many people just give it up.
The good news is that the burden of keeping people safe is shifting onto big companies who have an interest in fighting fraud, something that Novak experienced firsthand when he became a victim himself after getting a suspicious text message from his bank.
So I went to the branch, and luckily they know me very well there. So what happened? Well, do you know somebody by the name of Zbigniew Brzezinski in Florida? And I said, no. And they said, well, they did a wire transfer out of both of your accounts here for many thousands of dollars to this person in Florida. By 11 o'clock, the bank had canceled both of those accounts, returned the money to both of my accounts.
Novak urges people to check their credit report and bank statements frequently and to report any suspicious activity. Paying close attention is the key to managing identity theft risk. For Torrance CitiCABLE, I'm Avija Scarborough.
Thanks, Avija. AnnualCreditReport.com is recommended by the IRS for keeping track of your credit. And the IRS is also warning people to be fully informed when choosing the right tax preparer. Here are some checkpoints before making a decision on who will be the best person to help you file your taxes. If you go to irs.gov, you can use the directory of federal tax return preparers to view credentials and select qualifications. This will help you choose a preparer in your area that will be the most beneficial. Second, make sure you check the preparer's history. Next, avoid anyone who bases fees on a percentage of their client's refund, and make sure he or she uses an e-file for returns. Always review your returns before signing, and never sign a blank return. To look at the checklist, you can go to irs.gov. And a local Torrance Center is lending a helping hand by sponsoring free tax aid for the community. The American Association of Retired Persons, also known as AARP, is teaming up with Torrance's Bartlett Senior Center to offer assistance to people filing taxes. The free tax preparation helps anyone, but also focuses on people 50 years and older. The Foundation's tax aid has more than 5,000 locations in neighborhoods across the country. You can stop by 1139 Post Avenue anytime between 9 a.m. and 2:30 p.m., Monday through Saturday. You are encouraged to bring all important documents, including last year's tax returns, Social Security cards, photo ID, and checkbook if you want to direct deposit any funds. For a detailed list, you can go to aarp.org. They hope to continue this event through April 15th. One company headquartered in Torrance continues to lead in stem cell research. CellProgen Incorporated announced that they have successfully cultured human hair follicles in their 3D Original Culture System. It will enable one to grow and test active molecules for growth and creation of human hair follicles. It will be available as a screening platform for cosmetic and pharmaceutical industries. Cellprogen is a global stem cell research and therapeutics company focusing on development of stem cell technologies for regenerative medicine. You can tune in to Common Sense, hosted by Laura Fong, to get an inside look at this company. A local brewery is excited to show off its new brewing gear. Cosmic Brewery owners posted these pictures on its Facebook page showing of their new brewing systems that were recently delivered. The nearly 6,000 square foot brewery and tasting room on the east side of Gramercy Place off Del Amo Boulevard relocated from San Jose. The move will help them create products in a bigger space and also to better serve its fans. Schlo Brewery is also working on opening its doors in the near future. And One Torrance Brewery is making sure its flavorful beer is shared on a national level. Smog City Brewery is on the lineup for one of the largest brewer events in the country. Beer Camp Across America partners up with top breweries from 6 regions in the country. Hosted by the Sierra Nevada Brewing Company, the event will make stops to celebrate 6 collaborations created by brewers. These will be offered as the 2016 edition 12-pack of BCAA. The celebration will make a stop in Los Angeles on June 25th, where Smog City Brewing Company and 5 others in the area will offer the Creation Stout of the Union. A local car company is making a huge safety recall. Toyota and Lexus recalled nearly 320,000 vehicles because of airbag issues in cars made between 2003 and 2006. The companies say some affected cars include the Land Cruiser, 4Runner, Tundra, Sequoia, LX, and GX vehicles. The involved models have side curtain shield airbags that, under certain conditions, can be activated when not necessary. This is because of the improper programming in the airbag control modules. Toyota now plans to notify owners through first-class mail. Dealers will replace the airbag control module with ones that have better programming. You can inquire about your car with the VIN number at safecar.gov/VIN. For any additional questions, you can call Toyota Customer Service at 1-800-331-4331 and Lexus Customer Service at 1-800-255-3987. Well, before we go, we have a few events coming up that you won't want to miss. The Del Amo Fashion Center is hosting an event for lovers. They will have a Valentine's Day True Love photo booth at the Del Amo Fashion Center on February 13th and 14th. On the 13th from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. and the 14th from 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. It will be located near the Grand Court. By guest services, you will be able to enjoy free Valentine's Day photos. And want to get away? The O Canada Tour tickets are on sale through the Bartlett Senior Center. The event will take place on February 17th. There will be a musical tribute to Celine Dion, Michael Bublé, and many more. Lunch will be included at the Palm Springs Hilton Terrace restaurant. Tours are for people 50 years and older. To sign up, go to 310-618-2930. Plus, the Torrance Art Museum is hosting Homenaje, a performance that will feature original music by guitarist Will Brahm and others. It incorporates Cuban and African musical influences, as well as jazz, classical, and folk. The event promotes different cultures through their music. It will take place on February 18th at 6 p.m. Admission is free. The Torrance Art Museum is located at 3320 Civic Center Drive. And before we go, we have a sneak peek of the latest sports desk with Colin Kushner.
Thanks, Ben. Welcome to Boom Sauce Land, everyone. It's another jam-packed week here on the sports desk. Former West Warrior football standout Josh Allen's journey to playing Division I football is an inspiration to all. I'll get to his amazing 2-part story. Plus, we have highlights on the hardwood, the pitch, your top 5 Socios plays from January, and so much more. Tune in at 4 and 9:30 p.m. right here on CitiCABLE. Boom Sauce! Ben, back to you, sir.
Thank you, Colin, and thank you folks at home for watching. And I'm a grateful man. I'm beginning my 17th year as the male anchor at This Week in Torrance, and I have a great time every time I tape this show, and I'm also grateful for all the wonderful people I work with. Well, if you've missed any portion of our show, you can catch us again at 11 a.m. and 6 p.m. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you next time.